Well, hello there and welcome back. This week we're talking about courage and courage as you as a leader. That's right, the cowardly lion, courage. So you have to decide as a leader sometimes what decisions you make so that you can demonstrate the courage not only to your team, but to your peers and partners. That does not mean violating the other competency of composure. That means having the courage to stand up, having the courage to support your team, and having the courage to make decisions that are a little bit tougher. So, that courage, I would ask you, what are you doing to demonstrate that as a leader? Do you bring people along to meetings that may not feel prepared, but you know well enough that they are prepared to showcase and demonstrate their ability to talk through a report, to talk through a training? Do you have the courage to sit by them and help coach them so that they can make improvements? My question to all those who are not leaders yet is, do you have the courage? Are you demonstrating that courage to do something different in how you approach some of your tasks and challenges? And when I was a reporting analyst at the Walt Disney World Resort, one of the things that we had courage for is looking at new ways to measure. Now, you would think that the Walt Disney World Resort had that measurement strategy in place. We were developing new strategy. Whenever you try to change something at a place that has some consistency, you want to make sure that you align those values so that when you start measuring, when you start changing, you don't lose track of where the company was. So that reporting analyst role, we had to introduce new surveys, new techniques, new reporting. When we would go into meetings, especially with the designers, they kept pushing back as far as, no, 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 this is not what happened in the training. What we saw is that they loved the people. It was the content that was the problem. And it was the content that drove the change. So as an individual had to measure that, as we implemented new surveys, the question always came up is, well, how do I know that this measures what we need to get done? Well, the surveys didn't change. And so what we had was consistency. What we had was a survey that helped us gear that over time. And then we ran the analysis. But we also had focus groups. So that courage was not just ask the question once, but ask it multiple times in multiple ways, but don't lead the audience. So that we came back to the designers to say, hey, these are the changes that we would recommend. We had support and evidence on our side. So while we measured it at the same time, and we showed some of that change, I also needed a leader that had the courage to support the numbers and the information all along the way. Now, that's just one story, but it's one story that was very impactful for me in my career. If I didn't have the leaders that said, no, this data point is correct, we've talked to these people, and here is where it was, that would have been challenging. And what would have happened for me as an individual is less confidence and less support from my leadership. And that would have turned me off for numbers and measurement altogether, because we didn't have the courage to stand up for what we knew was accurate. Now, I'll tell you, one of the things that I tried to do to show some of that courage is also to step beyond where my comfort level is. If there's something I don't know, sometimes I'll say I don't know, which is courage in and of itself. But other times, I'll not only say that I don't know, but I'll say, hey, I don't know, but let me help you find out, because I'm curious that on what's going to happen next. That courage and how we measure that is how we transition the I don't know into what can I do next. Step one for that courage is always admitting that there is a challenge. Step two is then doing something about it. So courage doesn't stop by the I don't know. It's the let's do something about this together. And being a part of every one of those things has helped build credibility for me in any organization that I've been in. And I'm sure it's been the same for you, is how do you develop that courage? How do you demonstrate those two steps, the admission and then the follow through? How do you do that so that you demonstrate that courage with others? Because that's how you build lasting partnerships. The measurement is easy. It's how many of those lasting partnerships and connections do you continue to have within your organizations or after you've left? That demonstrates that courage, and that demonstrates the confidence and trust people have in you as an individual and as a leader. Well, that about does it for this week. I appreciate the stories. Keep coming in. Some of you have sent it to me on the side or called or sent me text messages. I appreciate it. Keep sharing that. If you have a little bit more courage, also post it in the comments. Thanks and have a great day.